would have thought he would have had a stalker at work. Stop following me around. Don't nobody want. I think he called her fat, out of shape, nasty, all these things. And I'm sitting here looking at the dude like, you don't have no room to be talking bad about that chick like that, because it's not like you the fucking cream of the crop. And that's what gets me with people. Like, everybody put themselves on such a fucking pedestal. Excuse me, I'm trying not to curse. What's up, young world? Hey, young world. I hope y'all can see me okay. How y'all doing? Go ahead. Hey, young world. So your girl just picked up her plates. Woohoo! I guess that's something to be excited about. And my plates came in. I don't even know. I don't even remember if I showed y'all my heat reflector that I got for the bike. I don't even remember if I showed that to y'all. So I know I need to show that to you guys. Ciao. And I actually took a lunch break to run over here to get my plates. And then I just picked me up from some Freebirds because I'm starving and I don't have any food at the house, and I need to go grocery shopping and all that good stuff that has not taken place in a minute. I guess I'll do it eventually. But I was just hopping on to say hey to y'all because I hadn't talked to y'all all week. I think today is Thursday. I want to say today is Thursday. I don't know, child. I can't remember no more. My days are just running together. It's out of control. Things are just out of control. So I really don't have much going on. Honestly, you guys. I'm supposed to be working. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And if I had stayed at home, I probably wouldn't have put on no clothes. I'd probably still be in my little walk around the house clothes. But I had to put on something to run out here to get these plates and give me something to eat and all those fun things, good things that I had going on. Y'all, I kind of feel like your girl has been a little selfish, and I can be very selfish. And here's what I mean by that, y'all. I don't really, when I have my mind like made up, so I'm not a window shopper. Let me say that. Let me start off by saying, me, I'm not a window shopper. I typically know what I want, and that's what I go after. That's just who I am as a person. I know what I want, and that's either what I'm gonna get or I'm gonna go after. I don't have to sit and like peruse at a specific location or anything like that, because by the time I get to a location, or well before I've gotten to that location, I've already made my mind up about what it is that I want and what it is that I'm gonna get, and if I can afford it, if it looks right in my life. If it don't look right in my life, I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna go with it. I'm just not gonna do it. So I think the selfish part is that once I make my mind up, it's hard for anyone to change it. Like, it don't matter. Like, when I get fixated on something and it's something I want to do and that's how I want to do it, that's how it's going to be done. Period. People can't deter me from it. And I think people get frustrated about it sometimes because I'm just that type of individual that, you know, you can't sway me off of what it is I plan to do. Like, when I say I'm going to stand on my square, that's exactly what I mean, is that I'm going to stand on my square. But I think people aren't accustomed to someone or, you know, an individual like that, because it's very uncommon for people to be consistent, right? It's very uncommon for people to be to walk in their truth and do what they say and make sure their actions and words match and all this kind of stuff. It's not a common thing, you know. It should be more common, but it's not. So when people meet an individual like that, I think it takes them by surprise, and they start questioning, you know, or become more curious. Maybe not questioning, but become more curious about, is this person the same way across the board? Well, for me, the answer is yes, it is. I am. Like, I don't know. When I make a decision for me, I'm making the best decision for me. And when that decision doesn't fit everybody else's decision, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to apologize for it. And it's not that, you know, your girl can't compromise, because I'm willing to compromise if it makes sense, but you got to make it make sense. I'm not just going to compromise on some shit that doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to who I am, my lifestyle, me as a person. I'm not going to do that, because I did that for too long in my life, trying to make sure everybody else was happy. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make sure people are Gucci with what's going on. I was always so concerned about pleasing others. That's what I'm trying to look for, and I just don't look to do that anymore. You can trust and believe whatever it is that I'm doing is because it's pleasing me. You better believe that, honey. It's not, it ain't got shit to do with anybody else, how they feeling in the moment. It has everything to do with me. So I think that's where the selfishness come in, and I don't even know it, and it's unapologetically, you know what I mean? It's just, I can't walk on this earth anymore without standing in my truth as who I am. And one thing that I can tell anybody is that I'm just not gonna compromise my happiness anymore for other people. Now, what I will do, I do take people into consideration, and I do take their feelings into considerations, and I do take what they think into consideration, right? Because I don't like to see people hurt. Y'all, I mean, I just don't. I don't like to see people hurt, especially when they my people. When I know they part of my tribe, when I know they part of my family, and I love them and all that kind of stuff, I don't want to see none of them people hurt. So I do take them into consideration. But I think that, you know, for the people who has been around me long enough, they know that I can be stubborn. And I think that how I move around and how I deal with things is actually what got me to the point. You about to get on my nerves. It got me to where I am now, because I don't really turn my back on me. You know what I mean? So even when I was at the point of my life where I was so big on trying to make other people happy or make sure other people were okay, I was still very mindful of myself. And I never wanted to be in a position where I would completely lose myself. Honestly, I felt like in my last relationship, that was beginning to happen. And I just feel like for those of you who know parts of that story, that was definitely, I feel like that was definite, because I didn't feel like myself. And I feel like now I finally made it back to my destinational point of me, you know, that pivotal point of me, and I plan to stay there. I plan to stay there, but not necessarily to make any other people feel bad. I'm sharing all this because I think that's one of the reasons, and I've really been thinking through it, why I haven't really started back some of the long discussions when it comes to girl talk and stuff, because I have to be mindful of what I put out there. And since you guys know that I'm crazy about the people that are close to me, that are in my family, I don't want any judgment to be placed on them when I share my story. And that's very important, because you know, I don't want to have any ill will with any of my community or anybody in the community, but I need to make sure that when I share things, that focus, wherever you guys want to take it, whatever you hear, however you hear it, make sure that focus stay on me. Don't start questioning, well, what was this person and why was this person not there and how did it affect it? None of that really matters, because it's my story. And what I'm trying to get people to understand is that you can have 3 people in the same situation, but if you ask them the story from their lens, it's not going to be theirs. It's going to be some differences. And that's why I say don't go asking me questions about, well, where all these, it don't matter where this was and how they was affected and why this, because to me it don't matter. If I didn't put it out there for you to hear, don't ask about it. It wasn't meant to be told. It wasn't. And I typically am very transparent about everything I share. But as you guys know, I do match energy. So if you pushing stuff out there that you gonna say fly, just be prepared that I'm gonna say something fly right back, because that's just how I get down. That's just how I am. Like, if you don't want to feel like I'm being rude to you, don't put no rude ass comments out on any of my vlogs, because I'm gonna come back with the same energy, whether you feel like it's just or not. You know what I mean? So I'm just asking that be mindful of what it is. And this is anybody's platform. You know what I mean? Anybody's platform across YouTube. These people ain't out here just putting themselves out there to be badgered and beat down and all that kind of stuff. They're actually sharing stuff with you. I mean, some of them, it's a career for them. I get it. And some of them not so much. Me, it's not. This isn't my career. It's just something that I just enjoy doing. Like I said, you guys are my outlet a lot of times, because the majority of the time I'm just kicking it with myself. I'm just doing Joe things. So you guys are my outlet, and I enjoy communicating with you guys. But other people, it's their livelihood. They make it. They putting themselves out there for a check. And I mean, that doesn't warrant anybody to come back and place judgment on them of you know, how they choose to live, or how they choose to look, or how they choose to adjust their bodies, or any of these things. That should never be a situation, because I just don't think that's cool at all. I really don't. And, you know, that's just kind of coming from the heart, that we as a people, black, white, indifferent, but, you know, I'm more so talking about my people of color. We got to do better when it comes to, you know, supporting, not kicking each other while they're down, or when they choose to share information, and all this other kind of stuff. Like, you know, I was looking on Facebook. I know I told you guys that I don't really mess with Facebook. No, I do have a Facebook page. I had removed myself from posting on that Facebook page because I couldn't really get it as clean as I wanted it to be, because that had all old history and stuff out there. But I noticed that some of my YouTube subscribers have went over to Facebook, so I've started to post some things over on Facebook as well. And I also have the Instagram page, and some of the things that I post are totally different when it comes to Instagram and Facebook. But anyway, I was perusing Facebook one day and talking about placing judgment, guilt, me. So I see this guy make a post about some female that he works with, and he's saying, who would have thought he would have had a stalker at work? Stop following me around. Don't nobody want. I think he called her fat, out of shape, nasty, all these things. And I'm sitting here looking at the dude like, you don't have no room to be talking bad about that chick like that, because it's not like you the fucking cream of the crop. And that's what gets me with people. Like, everybody put themselves on such a fucking pedestal. Excuse me, I'm trying not to curse. But everybody placed themselves on such a huge pedestal. They forget about humility. Like, what? Just, if you don't like the girl, don't like the girl. That's good. But you ain't got no room to call her anything that you called her, other than he is a little skinny. So, okay, if you want to call her fat, I'll give you that one. But everything else, nah. Because your hairline is receding. You ain't the best looking catch in the world. You ain't the cleanliness motherfucker out there. Hopefully I got that word out right. But it just trips me out how misery places its endowment on people. You know what I mean? You unhappy with yourself, so you so quick to say something ugly about someone else. And I just don't think that's cool. But, you know, that's just me. I'm not just one out here trying to tear other people down. I'm hoping that whatever I put out in the world can lift others up, because that's my mission in life. And I may say some crazy things, but typically when I say crazy things, it's because of some shit that I've been through. But even with the people that I've been through stuff with, I always tell you guys that it's important to take accountability of how you fit off into that picture. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people will sit there and say, so-and-so treated me like this, and so-and-so treated me like that, and so on and so forth. But how long do you plan on being a rug to let that happen? And the only reason why I talk like this is because from experience. If I didn't experience it, honey, if I was not a witness or a person who has been through a karmic relationship, I wouldn't be able to talk like this and tell these stories. But I can talk like this and tell these stories because I've been in those relationships before. And I've seen how they tear people down. But I also can admit to where I fit off into the story and take accountability. And I think that's what people have a hard time doing, is looking at themselves in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a very hard time at just saying, you know, I did go through this. Instead of just being a fucking victim all the time, I did go through this. And what could I have done wrong better to not put myself in this position, or to not get hurt, or to watch my heart, or to do this, that, and the other, and so on and so forth. So that's why I say, when you make decisions for yourself, whatever them decisions may be, make sure that they are honest decisions that you want to make. And make sure you'll be mindful of the fact that those decisions you make can go either way. It can go left or right, good or bad, perfect or imperfect, whatever the case may be. But it was your decision. Stand on that square and accept that you made that decision. And whatever it turned out to be, it is what it is. Get your ass up and move on from it. Right? And I don't think people can do that. I don't think people understand that everything that happens to you is based off a decision that you made. Not that a decision that someone has made for you. And to make it even more enlightening, if someone is telling you every single thing about themselves, and you still decide to be cool with that individual, whatever that coolness look like, and that friendship, relationship, situationship, igniteship, whatever ship you want to place, whatever word you want to place before ship, know that it was your choice to go on with it. Like, I don't know how to express it or explain it or say it any differently. I just wish that people would just be accountable. You know what I'm saying? Be more accountable. It's true that we would wish, or we would hope that the opposite, the other person or people, would be more mindful of what they share and how they share it and why they share it and this, that, and other. But even if they not, your responsibility is to lead by integrity, not theirs. You can't control what the hell they doing. They have their own approach to life. But if you know your approach to life is to lead by integrity and to be honest about what it is you're doing, you can't sit and worry about or try to control the narrative because the next person or people are not acting the way you want them to act. That goes all the way back to my statement of selfishness. When I make a decision for me, that's my decision. And don't get pissed off at my decision when it don't work in your favor. You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody said favor was fair. But anyway, that's all I had to say, y'all. I'm home now. I'll get with y'all later.